think we have another video where Lucy wants to take charge again. Is this your video? Come on. Okay, what are you going to say? Huh? Come on. So today I'm coming at you with a book haul. A bunch of books that I've either borrowed from the library, thrifted from the second-hand store, or been gifted by publisher or friends. So here we go. A very cheap book haul. So first up is the paperback, oh there she goes, is the paperback version of The Examiner by Janice Hallett. So I did get this in some awesome book mail that you'll get to see in my weekend reading vlog that comes up after this video. But this is, I've actually only read the Appeal and the Christmas Appeal. So I've got the two before this coming second hand from World of Books. And so I can read this and then the other one that came in the mail, which comes out in September. They're all standalones, I think, so I don't think I really need to read them in order, but this one says, the mature students of Royal Hastings University's new art course have been nothing but trouble, from setting fire to one another's artwork to extramarital affair and a disastrous road trip. Course leader Gela Nathaniel is at her wit's end, but finally they are given their last assignment, an art installation for a local manufacturer. With 6 students who had nothing in common except their clashing personal agendas, what could possibly go wrong? The answer is murder. So Janice Hallett, well, based on reading The Appeal, which I really, really liked, and The Christmas Appeal, I do love her cosy mystery murders, and they're like multimedia. So you have like a mix of messages, like group messages, emails and stuff. So I'm very excited to read this. If you've read any of Janice Hallett's ones, let me know. And again, if you watch this weekend reading vlog, you'll get to see the rest of the book mail that came. And also very kindly was Cornerstone imprint of Penguin Random House. They sent me We Are Not Numbers, The Voices of Gaza's Youth by Ahmed, Alnaouq and Pam Bailey. And basically this is like an anthology of stories from the young people of Gaza from 2014 until present day. And it's cut across, it says, We Are Not Numbers was founded in 2014 to give the voice to the youth of Gaza. In this collection spanning over 10 years to the present moment, we gain an unparalleled insight into the past as well as the current and next generation of Palestinian leaders, artists, scientists and scholars. This book, vital and urgent and full of heart, helps us to imagine where we might go from here. So I'm very excited to read this. Also, look at the cover. It's stunning. Bless you, Patty. She's in her bed down now, you can't hear her, she just sneezed. So I'll be reading that. Now, some thrifted ones. What are you all about? Are you coming up to say hello? Whoa, there she is. Patty! Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. You say hello to Paddy? Paddy's your pal. Huh? Paddy's one of our viewers who really likes Patty. Right, down you go. Down you go. Don't jump. Don't jump. I'm going to put you down. It's okay. She shouldn't jump with her wee legs. Then I got these 3 at the weekend. So apologies, you might hear me talk about it. Oh, and talking of Janice Hallett, look. She's blurbed this one. No One's Craft. No. I really need to learn to read properly. No One Crafts a Dilemma, quite like Jack Jordan. So picked this one up, and I've only read one of these books, Do No Harm, which I didn't really enjoy, I'm going to be honest. I thought it was a bit far-fetched, but that's my personal opinion. But I have seen quite a few book bloggers talk about this one and really, really enjoyed it. So it's basically, it says, sometimes I wonder if I have it in me to kill someone, what would my tipping point be? So we've got like 3 POVs in this. We've got Aaron, who was sent to jail for a hit and run and killed a young boy, and he's coming out from jail. Then you have Evelyn, the mum of the young boy he killed, who's been waiting all this time for him to come out of jail so she can revenge. And then you've got her husband, Tobias, who is basically in pursuit of his wife to stop her from doing what he thinks she may do. So it seems, and it's blurbed by like Alex Michaelides, is that how you say that author's name? Chris Whitaker. So a few, and Janice Hallett. So let me know if you've read any of this author's books. Then, who doesn't love a feminist book? This is Women Don't Owe You Pretty by Florence Given. Also, can we just adore the cover, right? It says, Women Don't Owe You Pretty is the ultimate book for anyone who wants to challenge the outdated narrative supplied to us by the patriarchy. It will teach you how to protect your energy, tell you that you are the love of your own life. We all need a bit of that. And that today is a wonderful day to dump them. Florence Given is here to remind you that you owe men nothing. Least of all, pretty. And this was only £1. Like, it's a cracking hardback. What does that say? Look, it looks quite delightful. Oh, look at those end papers. Oh. So let me know if you have. I've actually never read anything by this author or this book, but I have seen it out and always fancied it. Something about the cover made me also feminist vibes. Now, this one I also bought second hand, and I have to say it's not my favourite cover. I have seen other covers of this, but it's a big chunky you made the camera thing. It's a big chunky paperback, and I read this good few years ago for book group and utterly adored it. This was my first Elizabeth Gilbert. Then I went on to read Eat, Pray, Love. And I have to say, I detested that immensely. It's non-fiction about her own life. I shouldn't detest. I think it just came across as a very privileged life. This is fiction, and we follow, it's set in the 1940s in New York. And it says, 19-year-old Vivian arrives in New York with her suitcase and her sewing machine. Exiled by her despairing parents, although her quicksilver talents with a needle have been deemed insufficient for her to pass into a sophomore year of Vassar, she soon finds gainful employment as the self-appointed seamstress at Lily Playhouse. Her Aunt Peg's charmingly disreputable Rainbow Theatre. There Vivian becomes the toast of the showgirls, transforming the trash and tinsel only to fit for the cheap seats into creations for a goddess. Here is a strange wartime city of girls. Vivian and her girlfriends mean to drink the heady highball of life itself to the last drop. But there are hard lessons learned and bitterly regrettable mistakes to be made. Vivian sees that to live life that she wants, she must live many lives, ceaselessly and ingeniously making them new. Honestly, I utterly adored this book. There is a better cover. I'll put it here, which I think is the edition I read back in the day. I don't know why. Did I ever? Maybe I listened to an audio and never got the book. Adore it. Don't judge it by its cover. Although this cover I think is, is pretty, but not as pretty as the other one. Then I have some library books. Are these all the library books? Yes. I have these library books. Oh! So, one of you lovely people mentioned this one, I think, in my comments, and I looked at my library and it was in. It's called A Runner's High, Dean Karnazes. I don't know if that's how you pronounce their surname. Apologies. Older, wiser, slower, stronger. This spoke to me. As someone that runs, not a very good runner, I run mostly for my mental health. But I go out, I used to really try and push for personal best runs and all of that, but I got overly competitive with myself. And funnily enough, right, most of the time the older you get, you don't get much faster, not in my experience. And I was just beating myself up about it. So I actually gave up running for a while, and then one day I thought, well, it's cheap free exercise. You just warm up, get your trainers on, open the door and off you go. It's what I kind of like around it. And you can listen to whatever, like in your headphones. Often I listen to an audiobook. Anywho's, I think during the 2020s onwards was the time where I kind of fell back in love with just going out for a run. Not, or some people would just call it jog. I no longer time myself, I no longer check my distance, I no longer do any of that. I literally go out for a period of time, and that can be anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. Most likely more 20 minutes, but today I ran longer. And so, I don't know, oh yes, it was because one of my recent purchases from a charity shop was Born to Run, which I've read ages ago, and it's about bare feet runners, tribes that will run barefooted for like miles and miles and miles, and how many people, anyway, that's that book. And in the comments, I'm sure this one was recommended, and it says, running an ultra is simple, all you have to do is not stop. Right, I am never going to run an ultra marathon, which is plus 26 miles. It's normally like people do up to 50 miles. The most I've ever ran in my entire life is probably a half marathon, and before then that was once, and then other times 10Ks. Mostly I will only ever do 5Ks. I have no desire to do any, I don't even have a desire to do a marathon, right? No shade if you do, kudos, but I have none. And it says, now in his 50s, renowned ultramarathon runner Dean Karnazes returns to the Western States 100-mile endurance run after completing the race decades ago. The Western States, infamous for its rugged terrain and extreme temperatures, becomes the most demanding competition of his life. A physical and emotional reckoning and a battle to stay true to one's purpose. Dean intends to run forever, but can he? Can any runner? A runner's high is both an endorphin-fueled page-turner with a love letter to the sport from one of the most celebrated ambassadors, offering valuable lessons and striking insights, whether you run great distances or just starting out. I'm still just starting out, but it's fine, So thanks for that recommendation. I'm going to check that out. Then, I think on a recent, oh yes, it's when I was doing, and I'll link to it in the description as well, my spring new releases video. I discovered there was Human Remains by Jo Callaghan coming out, which is in the kind of thriller series of In the Blink of an Eye, which was the first one, but hadn't realised that in between there was another one called Leave No Trace. So I ordered it on, or reserved it at the library. This one's huge because I accidentally ordered large print, but I'm kind of happy with that because that's about the size of my Kindle font. So this one's Leave No Trace, and it says, one detective driven by instinct, the other by logic. It will take both to find a killer who knows the true meaning of fear. And the body of a man is found crucified at the top of Mount Judd, Alnaouq, the world's first AI detective. So read In the Blink of an Eye first. It was brilliant. I gave it 5 stars. So you've got the AI detective, Alnaouq, and DCS Cat Frank are thrust into the spotlight as they're given their first live case. I'm very excited about this one. And then I can obviously check out the next one, which is Human Remains, which is just out. Then, now I don't know where I'd seen this one. I think I might have seen it on Instagram. And something about it spoke to me. Can you imagine what? It says, Read Yourself Happy, How to Use Books to Ease Your Anxiety by Daisy Buchanan. I'm like, yes. Also, I'm the first person to get it out. And it says, read yourself calmer, read yourself courageous, read yourself free. Forget self-help and embrace shelf-help. Who doesn't love that? By discovering the healing power of books and reading to inspire, comfort and fortify. Can feel uncertain and overwhelming. Certainly I've been feeling a bit like that recently. Daisy Buchanan offers the perfect antidote to all the noise, inviting us to discover the literary world that have helped her survive and thrive. It says, Daisy's words never fail to make me feel less alone, says Dolly Alderton. But also, can we just enjoy how pretty and happy this book kind of looks and makes me feel just by looking at it? I love it. Oh, I just saw the blue glow of the ALEXA go off. It's listening. Then I finally picked up Fundamentally by Nussaibah, Younis. Oh, I've pronounced that correctly. And this is Lauren and the Books book club read for the end of April, which means book club, online book club is next Sunday, so I better get to start reading this soon. And I have no idea what this is about. Nadia is an academic who's been disowned by her puritanical mother and dumped by her lover Rosie. She decides to make a getaway, accepting a UN job in Iraq. Tasked with rehabilitating ISIS women, Nadia becomes mired in the opaque world of international aid, surrounded by bumbling colleagues. A biting, original, wildly funny and razor-sharp exploration of love, family, religion and the decisions we make in the pursuit of belonging. Dolly Alderton also blurbs this with funny, gripping and compassionate. Mariana Keys says original, warm and engaging. Has anyone read this? Obviously I've seen it doing the rounds, so interested to hear if anyone's read this one. I have no idea. I've only just realised what it's about, which actually sounds really interesting. Then, last but not least, 3 books have been gifted and a pre-order. This one was gifted to me by a colleague in work. It's Orbital Samantha by Samantha Harvey. It won the Booker Prize in 2024. So all I really know about this, I mean it's tiny, all I really know about this, life on our planet as you've never seen before, and 6 astronauts rotate in their spacecraft above Earth. And I think it's very much about their time there, and it's more of a vibe than a plot. So I'm willing to give that a go and see what it's like. Teeny tiny. I've heard beautiful things, but I've also heard some people go, So let me know in the comments if you've read any of these. Then my lovely friend Bethany, who I was at about a bookish day out with in Edinburgh last weekend. If you haven't seen that, let's check. I'll link it in my description, but it's my most recent weekend reading vlog where it's a bookish day out in Edinburgh. And in that I bought book 2 of The Spy Family because she promised to send me book 1 of The Spy Family, which is manga. And it says, Master of Spy Twilight is unparalleled when it comes to going undercover on dangerous missions for the betterment of the world. But when he receives the ultimate assignment to get married and have a kid, he may finally be in over his head. Not one to depend on others, Twilight has his work cut out for him. Procuring? See, hear the word procure, it makes me think of public sector buying, not like gaining a wife. Procuring both a wife and a child for his mission to infiltrate an elite private school. What he doesn't know is that the wife he's chosen is an assassin and the child he's adopted is a telepath. Then I have book 1 and 2 to read. Yes! Also, the beginning of my stack. I'm hoping I like them because I've only bought them. And then this one Bethany also gave me, and it's Fragile Animals by Genevieve Jagger. A slick literary vampire novel to sink your teeth into, says Alice Slater, and she wrote Death of a Bookseller, which I also recommend. Gorgeous and gothic. Can we just love this book cover though? When an ex-Catholic woman develops a sexual relationship with a vampire, she's forced to confront the memories that haunt her religious past. Oh, this doesn't hold back straight away. Struggling to deal with the familial trauma of her Catholic upbringing, hotel cleaner Noelle travels from Edinburgh. It's set in Scotland! Yay! Travels from Edinburgh to the Isle of Bute. There she meets a man who claims to be a vampire, and a relationship blooms between them based solely on confession. But as talk grows sacrilegious and the weather outside grows colder, Noelle becomes hounded by memories of her past, her blasphemous sexuality, and the love she lost while stuck in the closet of her mother's affair with the local priest, and the part she played in ending it. Oh, this sounds good. I've not read from this author before. Genevieve Jagger is a queer writer from... Oh, well, no, listen to this, right? This is about the author. How cool is this? Genevieve Jagger is a queer writer and witch from Scotland. Deeply involved in the literary community, she is a co-editor for Witchcraft magazine. Didn't know there was such a thing. Genevieve's writing can be found across the web on locations such as X-Ray magazine, Expat Press, yeah. Additional to writing, she works as a tarot reader dealing fortunes across Glasgow. What? She was raised herself as a Catholic, which has very much influenced the themes of this debut novel. She's a Scorpio, me too, a sinner and quite distinctly autistic. You can most often find her feeding magpies and crying over the smallness of things. Oh my goodness. The story behind the author makes me want to read this even more. And also, my lovely friend Bethany sent me it in this postcard that says, "Happy reading!" Ah! She knows I love Hello Kitty so much. Like, I loved Hello Kitty back in the day when in the UK you couldn't get Hello Kitty. You could only get Hello Kitty in, like, Japan. And now you can get it everywhere, which is great. But I still have a soft spot for Hello Kitty. Anyways. Hence why I got very excited about the Hello Kitty stuff merch that I saw and is in my last weekend reading vlog. Then, in my last weekend reading vlog, was it that one? Yeah, I may have showed you this, so if you haven't, but it was right then, so if you didn't make it to the end, then you probably won't make it to the end of this one. But anyways, it was Deliverywoman. Look at this. So I accidentally bought 2 copies of these, so I did return one to Waterstones. They're very good that way. And this is a collection of short stories. It says Deliverywoman is a stunning debut collection from Eva Wyles, 13 short stories that dive into the complexities of human connection, the pursuit of meaning, and modern day loneliness. This sounds very melancholy, but I'm kind of here for it. But also, like, one of my friends who, she knows my taste, and so if I see her give something like 4 or 5 stars, I'll often ask her about it and she'll tell me, "I think you'd really like this." And I'm sure this must have been one of them. Either that or I've picked it up somewhere, because I have no recollection of it being mega on my radar. But yeah, I plan on reading that very, very soon. So, Happy Me has got an epic book haul. Oh, hold on, I'll see if I can try and hold them all up so you can see them. But so you can see them all. Not too bad. And only one was actually bought like new, and it was a pre-order, and pre-orders do help authors, and it was an indie press, so I'm happy about that. But actually when I did start this, I thought it was just all thrifted, gifted and borrowed. But apologies, I may have misled you slightly because there's one in there that I pre-ordered. Anyway, do let me know, what was the last book that you acquired, whether it was from the library, whether you got it from a second-hand bookshop, or whether you got it gifted to you by a friend or a publisher, and or if you've pre-ordered or ordered something new. Let me know in the comments and let's chat books for as long as we possibly can. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this little book haul. Thank you for, as always, for watching. And if you like this, please do like and comment. It really does help my videos. And if you don't already, please do subscribe. And if you don't know what to say but would like to let me know you're here, please give me a little book or book stack emoji. And I will see you in another bookish video very, very soon. Cheerio!